Whew. Okay, I hope I can be seen. I hope you can see my face. If not, it doesn't really matter because I have many faces. Let's just try something. If your eyebrows are tensed, and if you're feeling often tensed, then this desire to be more and do more than what you're doing, to occupy more space, to free your voice, to take the space that you know deep down you should take, to do the things that you want to do, and to say the things that you only dare to say when you're alone, your head resting on your pillow, and you don't even want to acknowledge them sometimes. They're just nameless thoughts. If you're ready to open up to these whispers coming from your body, sometimes it's not even just from your mind, but it's from a part of your body that you know needs you to breathe into it, needs your acknowledgement, needs to be seen by the world because it has a message and it needs to say something, or just to be seen by you. If you're ready to open up to this discovering not only your mind but your body, this is the right place to be, because that's the journey I'm on, and I would like some companions, because it's such a beautiful world we live in, and we've been lied to in very clever ways about who we are, what we are, and what we can be. And so during my doctoral studies, first of all, I'm famille Sinantar, and there's a lot to say about who or what, where someone comes from or who they are, but at the end of the day, I'm just a human being looking to embody love and to breathe love, to feel love, and to help others feel love too. That's what I want to do, that's what I do. And so I'm just going to tell you a little story about what I'm doing in front of this camera and why I'm even speaking to you right now, because I could go on tangents for the longest time. Okay, so in 2023, between 2023 and 2024, I did my PhD fieldwork in anthropology. And in anthropology, you have to go to a new place and just really learn, document, understand the culture of the people that you're interacting with. Basically, you have a research theme, and then that's what you do. So my research theme was, I just really wanted to understand what it means to be a woman today in Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso. And when I got there, I realized that people called makeup Nagam in Mori, and Mori is the most spoken language in local language in Ouagadougou. And so in Mori, makeup was Nagam, and Nagam means really this cosmetic free. And today it's the use of cosmetics, but then before it wasn't necessarily the use of cosmetics. It was more of a embodied feeling, this idea or practice of being beautiful by using what you have. And so if I knew that I have beautiful lips and it's something people also love, then I would really engage in a set of movements that put emphasis on my lips or on my eyes or on my legs or on the rhythm of my body, the rhythm of my words, the tone, and just all this for attraction's sake. And so what was fascinating for me as a student researcher was that I was baffled by the dematerialization of the concept of makeup. And so that really led me to watch closely what I call the mechanics of makeup. And what that means is really the body movements, the movements around what the act of makeup is in Ouagadougou. And so what are the hands doing? What are the eyebrows doing? What is the nose doing? What are the lips doing? What are the jaws doing? And how does that reflect in the overall, the seen face of the person? What does that mean for the kind of interactions that they're having? And so if you're deeply curious about that, you can read my thesis. It's currently being examined, so you probably won't be able to read it now, but you will be able to read it because there will be publications. Anyway, so what this did for me is that it pushed me to watch closely what the mechanics of my own body were. And that's where things get really interesting and really shadow worky. So watching the mechanics of my body was very interesting. I realized a lot of things that really led me to founding the Grimace Lab, which is really, I call it a lab because it's an invitation for experimentation and also self-discovery. It's a place to really practice Grimace Consciousness. Before that, what is a grimace exactly? So you remember when I was saying that makeup was more about the movements of the body and how one used the body rather than the use of cosmetics. And so I decided, my supervisor and I thought it would be pertinent to name makeup a social grimace. And a grimace, in English it has a slightly more negative connotation than in French, but in English it's basically an expression of disgust or pain, wry amusement. But in French it's really also a funny face. But the essence of the word and the why we found it very pertinent is that it's a visceral expression of a feeling through facial contortion. And so this was really also interesting because the kind of makeups that people use, the kind of cosmetics and the kind of faces that people were making were socially gave them social capital, and by that I mean it really helped them to get to where they wanted to get, but it wasn't always very kind to their bodies. So for example, some people would use, this is extreme cases, okay, I want to highlight that it's a spectrum, and not all the girls that I worked with did that. Some girls had very healthy relationships with their bodies, but others also used things like hip enlargement creams that really hurt their bodies, because of course they were also of really low quality. They would use skin lightening creams. They would use, on a very mild level, they would use lip glosses that dehydrated their lips. So it made me wonder whether grimaces were always, these facial contortions and facial transformations were always good for the body, really. And so this led us to conclude that, the makeup practices today can be called grimaces. And so I got more and more curious about the kinds of facial contortions that we make when we are interacting with each other, like in a conversation, for example, which is why I asked, how are your eyebrows right now? Are they relaxed? How is your jaw as you watch this? Because there is a deep correlation between how we feel in the state of our face, how much tension we put on our body, and how we manage that tension. And so this is why I founded the Grimace Lab. The Grimace Lab is really to help us get in touch with these different kinds of grimaces. So we've moved away from makeup into a deeper, more visceral form of engagement with the face and with the body. And a grimace, and more specifically a rigid grimace, because a grimace is a way of communicating, it's a way of moving the body so that we can communicate what we have to say to the people in front of us. But it can sometimes be harmful to our body. And so I found that when I often don't breathe enough, I often don't check in with my body and relax my jaws, and this can be very harmful to the way I move through the world. And if you are watching this and you are not satisfied with the way you engage with people, the way you engage with your work or the things around you, there might be a grimace at the bottom of it. And so at the Grimace Lab, we are here to really help you find this grimace and really get to the bottom of it, because what we do is that we use social science theory to explain where the systematic and structural origin of the policing of the body, but we also are deeply in touch with our bodies, and we practice gentle breathing, and we practice self-reflexivity so that we can understand that there is more space for our bodies. Our bodies do not have to be in these crumpled boxes, and these crumpled boxes were given to us. They were not yours. And so if you want to create your own shape and explore your body in ways that you didn't think was possible by yourself, then your place is at the Grimace Lab. And there's so much more to say, there's so much more to show, but this is just a little introductory video so that people can see my face and also understand a little bit of where I come from and where this came from as well. And I'm really looking forward to interacting more with you. Okay, I was just checking that I was recording, and this big ass field recorder, I love it so much. I can really just zoom into different sounds. I listen to the leaves. Hey baby. Okay. Hong Kong. Goodbye. See you at some point.